me. I find it very interesting. He said he has provided all the evidence to Mr. Domelovo, a former Auditor General. I want to put it on record that he provided us with evidence that were fake evidence.
We speak live to Ayikoi Otoo here on Top Story. For a response, Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies. My name is Faustina Safo. Please stay for details. Tonight, the former Auditor General, Daniel Domelovo, has accused the former Attorney General, Ayikoi Otoo, of presenting fake documents during the investigation into the petition against the former Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo. This development comes after Ayikoi Otoo expressed dissatisfaction, with the committee's decision, alleging procedural breaches and questioning the authenticity of the documents relied upon. Daniel Domelovo, a member of the committee, claims Ayikoi Otoo submitted false documents, including a letter signed by the Judicial Secretary appointing the Chief Justice, which he described as, quote, fake evidence. Ayikoi Otoo had argued on Current Affairs program Newsfile on Joy News on TV that the committee ignored key evidence, including the judicial's official travel policy, and acted unfairly in its findings.
They told us we could file it within a reasonable time.
But you were giving 25th.
Agenda hearings to the 15th of September.
But you had just confirmed to me a while ago that you were giving the 25th to file.
Have I denied that?
Right. So as
we were giving.
Okay,
please,
I'm informing you.
I don't want this kind of.
No, we are doing just a bit of a fact.
Creating the impression as if I'm telling lies.
No, I'm not suggesting. I won't do that. I won't do that, sir. So I'm saying that on the 25th, the petitioner had filed their written submissions. They filed it on the 25th because that was the deadline you were giving, but you were unable to meet the deadline.
I am saying to you that they said we should file it by the 25th. 24th, we wrote to them that we were on it, we would not be able to complete, and we needed 1 week.
Okay.
That was the day that Oliver Vomawo's group were also to start theirs. And we said, look, we are settled with 2 of them. One, to write the submission, at the same time prepare to come and meet the Oliver Vomawa people, shining stars. So could we be giving 1 week to organize ourselves, file the written submission, and then start the hearing?
Okay.
And they told us that day, because it did not involve Chatuchikata and his group, they were not there. So what they would tell us is that they would give us an advice that we should try and file it within a reasonable period. That is all.
Well, thankfully, I have Mr. Ayikoi Otoo here with me on Top Story. We appreciate your time. I would like you to listen to this voice. I'll be back to get your reactions.
Now let's come to Mr. Ayikoi Otoo's attack on me. I find it very interesting. He said he has provided all the evidence to Mr. Domelovo, a former Auditor General, and I sat there and I didn't take it, and other people, I was whatever influenced my decision, he doesn't know. I want to put it on record that he provided us with evidence that were fake evidence. It will interest you to know that it is the junior of the Chief Justice, the Judicial Secretary, who appointed the Chief Justice. How is that? Yes, that letter he produced is signed by the Judicial Secretary appointing the Chief Justice.
Well, you heard the former Auditor General, Daniel Domelovo, speaking to Kweku Sentim-Mensah on his show over the weekend. Well, thankfully, I have Mr. Ayikoi Otoo with me here on Top Story. I appreciate your time. I'd like to start with your initial reaction to this claim by Domelovo.
Well, thank you. I've listened to him with a lot of surprise at what he's doing. I didn't know him to be that political, but I see him as only wearing political glasses and refusing to keep to what at least we have known him to be. Now, I spoke about Domelovo in a context. This was the context. I said that there was an audit report, and that audit raised queries. Then they were given to the Judicial Secretary, who is the spending officer. And that Judicial Secretary explained, using the travel policy, why certain expenditures were made. Now, after that explanation, they came back with what is called a management letter. And that in that management letter, they never raised those issues about unwarranted expenditures anymore, meaning that they had accepted the explanation. It never formed part. And that management report is still available for everybody to read. This is where I brought in Domelovo, that being an experienced and a former Attorney General, Auditor General, I was very surprised and flabbergasted that he sat there. He went along with us. In fact, it was to him in particular that I was referring all these issues about queries and management letters to. He kept quiet. The financial director, and the director of finance, came and confirmed that these things were never raised again in the management letter. How come that at the end of it all, you come and tell us that you are only liable for having engaged in some expenditure to which he was not entitled? This is what I was talking about. And that is how I brought him Domelovo, and I didn't mention any other person's name. Did I do anything wrong? This is the man who ought to know. He's the one who knows about audits. He's the one who knows about management letters. And I'm saying these things which we tendered, which is so, yet they ignore all of that, and in their final report said the Chief Justice was involved in some financial propriety. This is what I'm talking about.
Mr. Ayikoi, Daniel Domelovo, in that interview, cites a particular appointment letter, which he says that letter was signed by the Judicial Secretary.
I'm not coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Confirm for me if you indeed submitted that letter.
About him, why I mentioned his name in all my submissions trial. This is the background that I've given you. Try and listen so that we'll be on the same page. Now I'm coming to the letter. That are you sitting there telling me that since 2023 you didn't know that this Chief Justice Gertrude Torkonoo was the Chief Justice of Ghana until the so-called removal? Are you sure you don't know? Are you telling us that it was what is calling a fake letter which appointed her? And if that were so, why was everybody looking on? I said I'm very surprised at him. We are looking at the conditions of service of the lady, and we came to the conclusion that it is the the spending officer who knows what terms are. So we produce the letter which was given to her by the spending officer, telling her what conditions are. That was what we tendered. We all saw when he was giving the warrant at the Jubilee House when she was sworn in and made. This is the letter which contained conditions of service, which was given to her by the very, very spending officer of the judicial service. So that letter was for a specific purpose to show that, look, I am the spending officer, and I'm telling you that having the appointed Chief Justice, these are your conditions of service. What is wrong with that? What is the fakeness in this? That was the letter we showed that she was entitled to travel. Look, he is talking. I wait for you to ask your next question. You ask your next question. I don't want to rush.
Mr. Otoo, you are a seasoned lawyer and a former Attorney General. You know the weight of an allegation like this. If indeed it turns out that false documents were indeed submitted before the committee, that would amount to perjury, would it not?
So you have not listened to the explanation I have just given you? Is that the appointment letter? I'm telling you that in every organization we have a spending officer. And after an audit, it is a spending officer who is held liable. So this spending officer, who is the judicial secretary, after the Chief Justice has been appointed by a warrant and she has gone to office, this letter was given to her by the spending officer stating entitlement. That is the explanation I have just given to you. So what question are you asking? Now, did Domelovo tell you that he went to the judicial secretary and the secretary said she never wrote that letter? I don't expect an auditor to behave the way he's behaving because he knows how to prove that somebody is lying. He should have just taken the letter, gone to the office of the judicial secretary, and would have said that we didn't write this letter. This is how you prove it. You don't come and sit on television and say what or steal out what you are just talking about. And you are walking the same lie, telling me that we went and gave. Why? Is it not the president who appoints? And didn't we all see the president appointing her and giving her the warrant?
So from where you sit, these allegations are false. Do you intend to take...
Clear falsity. What is doing Islam politics? He has disgraced himself because he was sitting there as the auditor who should guide them. And the auditor said they found nothing wrong with that expenditure. Today, look at what is going around and now talking about a letter. Why is he not talking about those specific issues that I raised against him? That the auditor said they found nothing wrong, and therefore they never came back in their management letter to raise those issues again. Are we children in this country? Haven't all of us gone through this? Now he is talking about Article 71. Who is paid Article 71 benefits from the time he is appointed? Is it not after your time that the president will set up the committee and then retrospectively tell you that these are your entitlements? Haven't all of us complained about it to the extent that this president in his campaign said when he is coming to abolish Article 71. So in 2023, when the lady has not finished serving, who gave her any appointments? Who gave her any salaries? Who gave her any privileges based upon any committee? Who set up the committee? She has not finished serving. 2020, 2024. What is he talking about?
I can see how upset you are really. Do you intend to take any legal action?
Well, we'll consider that because we are all very, very much frustrated by the attitude that he has just shown to everybody. And somebody who at the morning he wrote that the strike is over, the battle is done, before he went and presented his report. Was this man listening to the evidence? He did not listen to any evidence. He has already made up his mind. And he was bringing his own evidence to supplement whatever it is that we have offended. We are challenging him to show us where that expenditure came again in the management letter. Where did it appear in the management letter? That is how I mentioned its name. Instead of answering that one, he is talking about so-called fake letter. Who doesn't know that the lady was Chief Justice of this country. And those who wanted to remove him, were they not saying that they were coming to remove him as a Chief Justice? What is the logic in what he's saying? Where is that logic? That she is there sitting there with a fake letter. Where is that logic? Please, we are disappointed, highly disappointed in this gentleman. No doubt he may have problems with his age.
Mr. Ayikoi Otoo, stay with me. Let me bring in Ansar Sari, he's former director of the Ghana School of Law. He joins the conversation.
I told you, when you want to do a program and you want it to be a panel discussion, let me know. Let me know. You called me, I was in the room, I knew what happened, I'm talking. You are bringing Ansar Sari. What does he know? Was he in the room with us? Was he with us? You allow him to speak what he wants to speak.
Thank you so much, sir, for your patience. Let me bring in Ansar Sari, and it's not a panel discussion, by the way. I'm just getting his thoughts, and I'll come back to you to finalize the conversation. I'm not conferencing both of you, just to clarify that. We keep to our words here on Joy 99.7 FM, and this is still top story. Thankfully, I have Ansar Sari with me. Article 146 requires that proceedings for the removal of the Chief Justice be held in camera. If a member of that committee publicly comments on that, isn't that in breach of confidentiality? Is that not in contempt of the constitutional process? I want to get a legal education on this.
Thank you very much. And good evening to my classmate, Ayikoi Otoo. Honorable, good evening. I think that the media should assist the general public by considering the matter closed. Domelovo was a member of the committee, and as you rightly explained, as a member of the committee, he was privy to certain confidences. And since the whole process was supposed to be conducted in camera, the general public is not privy to certain pieces of information that were made available. And it will lie ill in the mouth of any member of the committee, to make public some confidential matters, that, have been disclosed. So any such full disclosure should be, discovered by the media. If the media entertains, such banters, the media will be lending credence to something that otherwise should not be done in the first place.
Mr. Ansar Sari.
My good friend Ayikoi Otoo,
Mr. Ansar Sari,
was, yes, my dear.
If you allow me coming at this point, it is not the media that is stoking the flames, really. This is the former Auditor General making these allegations, and we're just seeking clarity because the entire process actually led to the removal of the Chief Justice. So we just wanted clarity. The reason why we want to educate our audience, the reason why I'm speaking to you is to get legal education. When a hearing of this matter or this magnitude held in camera is spoken about in public by a member of the committee, does that constitute a breach of the Constitution?
I don't think so. But I think that rather it is, a breach of the trust reposed in members of the committee, not actually a breach of the Constitution. You see, we have reposed confidence in them. And once the president, set up the committee and appointed the membership, the president was extending the confidence that the general public, has reposed in members of any committee that to be, set up in accordance with the Constitution. So I would say that it's a breach of the confidence reposed in them and not a breach of the Constitution, because the Constitution guarantees, freedom of speech. But we should know, where the freedom ends or where it should begin.
So there are no legal consequences, really.
Such a constitutional body, they ought to know that, whatever they heard was meant for their ear and not for their lips, as, we put it proverbially.
So there are no legal consequences, really?
I mean, I don't think it's contempt of the committee. I don't think so. I mean, it is an unauthorized communication. It is unauthorized communication, but it doesn't constitute contempt, the committee. I don't think the committee, yes, was exercising quasi-judicial powers. But if a member, shoots his or her mouth, too wide, or opens his or her mouth, too widely, that should not, amount to contempt, of any constitutional authority or body. I don't think so.
But
my advice is that once the president has made a final and decisive determination of the issue, the rest, we should allow sleeping dogs to lie.
Well, we can't allow sleeping dogs to lie, can we? Because Daniel Domelovo himself, a member of that committee, is the one making these allegations against the lawyer that represented the former Chief Justice. And he's raising serious allegations about presenting falsified documents. And these are raising questions about the legal implications of perjury. The reason why we're having this conversation, if indeed these documents were falsified, the questions on the minds of many is that, would that have influenced the process? Would we have to recall the process? These are key questions. The reason why we're raising these fundamental questions here on Top Story. But let me bring back Ayikoi Otoo as we wrap up the conversation here on Top Story. We appreciate his time. He's been quite patient with us. I just wanted to find out, really, you have appeared before the committee a couple of times. Did any member of the committee give you the impression that any document you submitted was false?
Never. Nothing of the sort was raised. And they had every opportunity to have called other witnesses to have come to show that anybody was tendering a fake letter or producing fake evidence. I don't do those things. Everybody know me. I don't. And this letter, as I'm saying, he never went to the Judicial Council or to the Judicial Secretary to find out whether she authored that letter. And we are saying that this is the letter she gave to us as spending officer so that we should know our entitlements. And we tendered that also to show that we were entitled to embark on the kind of travel we did. And remember that there were more than one travel policy. And all other Chief Justices and Justices of the Supreme Court or Superior Courts have all benefited. It only makes sense, and that's why I keep saying that I'm surprised. When your full benefits would only be known at the end of 4 years, that there must be some policies in place for you to at least enjoy something until after the 4 years. It is these policies that various commissions, the Judicial Council and the rest have worked by. So that at the end of the period, the president will now determine what you are actually entitled to. We all know in this country that it is retrospective. It is retrospective. You go and sit there, you don't know what you are going to gain. Even parliamentarians go through the same. It is after the 4 years that the president will determine their entitlements, and they also determine the president's entitlement and all that. So what is Domelovo saying? Who determined anything for this woman? It is the spending officer, the policies of the Judicial Council, which they used. She did nothing wrong. I'm telling you, she did nothing wrong. She only worked in accordance with what the spending officers told her. So what he is doing now is most unwarranted. We brought all this in. Never. They didn't raise these issues. They didn't challenge that it is not true that the matter was not raised again in the management letter. Today, look at him talking about fake. What fake? What fake?
At this point in time, I can see how surprised you are. Would you be reporting the matter to the police or preferably the Attorney General for investigation?
Look, you see, when I'm heated, you see me speaking with this passion. I've always been like that. But I believe in emotional intelligence. So you leave that to me. I'll deal with it.
But we want to know, your reputation is on the line.
No. I've explained. If what I've told you, you don't understand, fine. But I've told you, leave it to me. Leave it to me.
You'll be heading to court.
I have exposed him as a liar, and that all that he has come to say is to save his face. I mentioned his name alone in respect of the audit. I did not mention any other person because I expected him to know better, and he knew the context within which I spoke. And today, he wants to throw dust in people's eyes and to paint me black to say that even I tendered fake. Do lawyers tender their own evidence or evidence that is given to them by their clients? He knows all that. He should be ashamed of himself.
Is this a personal battle?
Sorry, are you asking a question?
I'm asking if this is personal between you and Daniel Domelovo.
Oh, Domelovo is my friend. He lives on my street here. I have nothing personal against him. He knows. And everybody knows me. When I'm in my element, I say my thing and that's it. That's finished. So I can leave all those other matters to me. My interest is explaining to the public. And you have given me that opportunity and I have explained. I am satisfied. So if people don't want to listen and they still want to go along with the lies that he has come to spew, that is their headache. But I thank you very much for having given me this opportunity to explain how I mentioned his name, why I mentioned his name, the kind of letter we produced and intended to show that there was nothing on the hand, there was nothing fake about what we did. He should be ashamed of himself as an experienced auditor who should have guided those that he was sitting with. That's all.
Thank you so much for your time here
My
on
pleasure.
Top Story. Ayikoi Otoo, he is the legal representative for the former Chief Justice. He's also a former Attorney General. I've also been engaging Ansa Ansari, former director of the Ghana School of Law. We appreciate your time here on Top Story. My name is Faustina Safo. Thank you so much for your time here on Top Story. Handing over the baton to Evans Mensah for Newsnight.
I am the community Momo man now. People send money, and with the Momo app, every payment is done. My transactions are flying.
Hey, Adeng!
Ah, ma, you didn't know, eh?
Over 2 million Ghana cedis is up for grabs in the Stillman Saka promo. Transact more than 100 Ghana cedis with your Momo app, and you could win daily, weekly, and monthly cash prizes, and 100,000 Ghana cedis grand prize. And it's not just payments and money transfers. Bank to wallet transactions, savings, loans, investments, pensions, POS transactions, and Momo transactions from other partner platforms qualify. This promo runs in collaboration with the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast, University Bookshop, Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic, Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank accounts too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to theluckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you are abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
Every mosquito started run away.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, good evening. 30 years of joyfulness. Hashtag Stop Galamsey Now. Welcome to Newsnight.
In the next 60 minutes here on Newsnight, MPP's chairman wanted me to spend night behind bars after failing to meet 25 million cedi sureties imposed in 2 different cases over his alleged role in Galamsey.
Meeting the bail conditions at this present time will be difficult. Although we have the sureties and we have also brought the documents, we hope that tomorrow we'll be able to finish and then secure the release of the accused person.
We have details as the MPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman and his Akunta Mining are accused of destroying 13 hectares of land in a Tano Forest Reserve as he faces new charges regarding Galamsey. We have all the details from his long day in court.
Also coming up, civil society groups remained unconvinced despite more than 1,000 arrests, including the latest 100 by the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, arguing that the crackdown still falls short of President Mahama's promise to target kingpins rather than the boys in the pit.
Maybe we can look rather for the kingpins and deal with them in a major way.
You've been here for 8 months. You are telling us that you've arrested 1,400 people. Who are the kingpins?
In business, gold prices hit $4,000 an ounce for the first time as we explore impact on the economy and real challenges ahead for the country.
And in sports, government is set to roll out a development plan for nurturing football talent in Ghana's educational system.
You want to stay with us? I want to hear from you. 055-11-11997. We start tonight from the court where Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, Bernardine Tribwesia, co-chairman Wuntimi, you know him popularly, will spend the night behind bars after failing to meet a 25 million Ghana cedi bail sum imposed in 2 different cases before the criminal division of the High Court in Accra.
Well, the embattled chairman Wuntimi has been placed on a stop list and banned from travelling abroad, and is also accused of destroying 13 hectares of land in the Tano Nimri forest. These accusations are in a second case filed against Chairman Wuntimi for allegedly engaging in illegal mining. In the first case filed against him, also related to illegal mining, he is accused of assigning mineral rights without approval and facilitating illegal mining. Chairman Wuntimi denies all these charges. My colleague Kukwa Sente has been in the court all day covering these 2 cases and joins us in the studio with details. Kweku, first tell us about the facts of the case filed against Chairman Wuntimi, the arguments in the court and the terms of this bail.
So in the first case, about 6 counts in total, Chairman Wuntimi and his contaminating are accused of operating a concession and giving it out to a third party to mine illegally without authorization from the Lands and Natural Resources Minister. The case the state makes in court is that per the mining laws of the country, if a company gets a concession to mine, they cannot sublet it to a third party to engage in illegal mining on it without the written authorization of the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. They say this has not been done, for which reason they have put these charges before the court on that. On that, the case was made strenuously by Andy Apiakubi that his client was not a flight risk and that he will always show up for trial. The state did not oppose, in fact, represented by Justice Sremsai. He said he was not opposed because as far as they are concerned, Chairman Wuntimi is a known figure. But among other things, they want the bail conditions to be stringent in a way that Chairman Wuntimi will always show up. And so the court, in granting Chairman Wuntimi bail, imposed these conditions that Chairman Wuntimi is admitted to bail in the sum of 15 million cedis with 3 sureties, 2 to be justified with landed property within Accra or within the jurisdiction of the court. And then Chairman Wuntimi is also expected to deposit his passport with the registrar of the court, and then Chairman Wuntimi is placed on a stop list at all the exit and entry points of this country, which will prevent him from traveling abroad. And then he is to report to the investigator handling the matter every first and third Monday of every month.
Before we get to why he hasn't been able to meet these bail conditions, did the state provide any evidence for the claims that Chairman Wuntimi indeed destroyed 13 hectares of prime forest land?
So right after the first case, Chairman Wuntimi and his lawyers were working to get the bail conditions met. Then the police arrest him again and then put him before another criminal court for illegal mining. This time specifically, the case was made that Chairman Wuntimi Akonta Mining has been involved in illegal mining in the Tano Nimiri forest in such a way that they have destroyed 13 hectares of prime forest land. They went in there without the authorization of the state and then have destroyed the specific forest reserve, including adjoining rivers. That was the case that Justice Sremsai made when he read the brief facts of the case. Ultimately, when this matter goes to full trial, the state will bring its witnesses and back up the case. In that case also, Chairman Wuntimi got a bill, 10 million cedis with 2 sureties, 1 to be justified with landed property. And so in total, 25 million Ghana cedis, 5 sureties, 3 were to be justified.
Quick question, thank you very much for bringing us that update.
able to secure bail for Chairman Utumi and his company and the other accused person. They have been admitted to do various sums and justification. We are working on executing the bail conditions. We are currently working with the registrar of the court. Unfortunately, at this time, we are not able to secure the release of the accused persons for reason that the police will have to go and inspect their houses, the sureties, the houses of the sureties, and come back and give a report before the registrar could execute the bail bonds. So for now, bail granted in both cases. What I have to explain is that there is one case pending before Court 4, Criminal Court 4, and another pending before Criminal Court 1. We secured the bail against substantial conditions in the morning, only be slapped with another case that we needed to go to Court 1 to prosecute it. So the charge sheet as given to us was around 2 o'clock. So the court has just finished with the second one and also granted bail. Meeting the bail conditions at this present time will be difficult, although we have the sureties and they have also brought their documents. We hope that tomorrow we'll be able to finish and then secure the release of the accused person.
And he admits that it's going to be difficult to meet the bail conditions, and so they're going to be continuing tomorrow.
Yes, in fact, right after that, Chairman Untumi was whisked away in handcuffs by the police together with the other accused person and taken to the police CID. And so tomorrow, the lawyers say they are going to work strenuously with the CID to ensure that the bail conditions are met so that Chairman Untumi can go home a free person. Chairman Untumi will now be expected to come and defend the substantives of the offences that have been filed against him in the first case at the end of October and in the second case at the start of November.
Okay, and so we're going to be following that case very closely for you. Let's stay with issues relating to illegal mining, and pressure is mounting on government as civil society groups raise concerns about the latest anti-Galamsey arrests, describing them as more of the same. They insist that despite the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat boasting of over 1,000 arrests in recent weeks, including a fresh 100 in the western region, the real masterminds remain untouched. The groups say President Mahama's promise to go after the kingpins, not the boys in the pit, is yet to be seen in action. My colleague Michael Ashale joins me in the studio with details of this latest in terms of the arrest that we are learning about today. What exactly did NIMO's task force do in this latest operation?
Well, Evans, we know that the task force stormed Gangway, a crime-infested community in Aboso in the western region. According to the statement, several makeshift structures that served as hideouts and drug bases were set ablaze, and Galamsey equipment were also destroyed.
I mean, key question always in these matters is arrests made, and did they seize anything?
Well, Evans says they made some arrests and seized something. So we understand that NIMOS says, well, several hundred locals, mostly Galamseyers and their own words, that surrendered to the NIMOS team that went to the place. They also seized 11 parcels of Indian hemp and other hard drugs.
And this community, they are notorious. They are very known to the security agencies.
Yes, Evan. So we've heard in the past, NIMOS tell us that they actually issued warnings to those involved in legal mining, and again, some of those areas, they've told people to vacate the place. And this was not far ago. This was just in June this year. And this time around, they realized that hadn't stopped. They hadn't heeded to their warnings and then went ahead to do this particular swoop where they arrested all of these Galamsey servants.
Well, we'll be hearing tonight from the Coalition Against Illegal Mining and the CSO groups. They say they are not impressed because President John Mahama himself, before assuming power, promised to tackle the kingpins. Only last week he said same, insisting the kingpins should be the focus and the small boys should be part of the focus. But if you really want to win this, you need to tackle the guys who mastermind the illegal mining.
What are we doing to the kingpins? Because most of those 1,400 who have been arrested are young youth who are looking for something to be able to look after themselves. And we'll prosecute them, we'll imprison them. But those who run those operations are the ones that we must be arresting and imprisoning, not these little boys. And so we need to change our strategy. We can arrest the boys and all that. And I think that even if we send them, they should be given a leaner sentence by the judge, a slap on the wrist. But those who must be given, there's no slap on the wrist. What's the least sentence? 15 years. 5 to 15. Yeah, so we'll catch these boys and we'll feed them for 5 years, look after them for 5 years, and discharge them. But like I'm saying, maybe we can look rather for the kingpins and deal with them in a major way so that we are able to get something on this whole thing.
Well, the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining says that promise is yet to be fulfilled despite the dozens of arrests made. Senor Hosi is a member of that coalition.
This won't to me matter. Doesn't make sense. He said something about the fact that a docket was lost. I don't want to just hear about the won't to me matter, Kunta mining matter continuing. I also want to hear about who took that docket and what actions government is taking against those people. President Mama was very clear. The president said kingpins. You've been here for 8 months. You are telling us that you've arrested 1,400 people. Who are the kingpins?
We're buying the thing.
Have you shown us the kingpins?
Let me
kingpins, where are you?
I want to bring in spokesperson for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, Pa Kwesi Shandov, joins us on the phone right now. And Pa Kwesi, how do you respond to Senor Hosi? Where are the kingpins, he says?
Well, so, indeed, just like the President said, you need to grab the actual architects. As you speak, NIMOS and the ministry and all the relevant stakeholders are on that particular beat, and then so very soon I'm sure we should be able to hear very good news on the arrest of the main instigators of illegal mining. Because if you again go after the ground troops, or like the president said, the small boys, without dealing with the elephant in the room, it is much ado about nothing. There are strategies being deployed to grab the actual architects, because it is a very complex web. You might not be able to grab them almost immediately, but there's a definite strategy and plan to get them. And so in no time, we should be hearing good news on how the actual financiers and instigators are also being arrested in that particular respect.
Give me an update on the setting up of the permanent military bases that we heard the minister announce last week, but also I said it before.
If you may, an update on what?
The permanent military bases that we're told we should expect as part of the fight.
Okay, so as of now, the map out plan and the deployment strategy has been concluded. I am very well aware of that. The only situation or issue now is the financial clearance, because when you are going to deploy them, it would come with a cost implication. But the good news about it is that I know authoritatively that within the last 2 days, the sector minister has had a meeting with the finance ministry, as well as that meeting included the director of operations at NIMOS on how the financial consideration can be disbursed accordingly, so that the deployment is done. And so because that meeting has been had, and with the assurances from the finance ministry, I can say that that deployment should be any moment from now, because on paper, the map out plan has been concluded. It's just left with the cash to give effect to the program. And so in just a matter of days, not to indicate any specific timeline, but let's look at beyond this week. Hopefully the deployment would be done effectively.
Thank you very much. And that there's a spokesperson for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, Pa Kwesi Shandov.
So Evans, earlier we heard from Senor Hosi, who is a member of the Ghana Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Well, that group is demanding that government publishes the daily turbidity levels for all polluted water bodies and heavy metal concentration in the environment. Let's hear from Senor Hosi again.
The information, we will shout till he hears. And we don't have a problem what tool he thinks he wants to deploy. We have advised, and we have given advice on sound counsel and sound counsel. I can't please, I want to know when we are going to have our daily temperature reports from the Ghana Water. 2, monthly water quality report that tells us what metals are in there, whether it is improving or is not improving. 3, food quality. 4, we need to see report on the legal actions being taken and investigations. And in that process, we need to see who the kingpins, His Excellency the President, has been talking about.
Okay. Well, he got a response from the Deputy CEO of the Forestry Commission, Ayikoi Otoo.
I am aware that from Friday that we had that engagement, there's been steps taken to make sure that the Forestry Commission is setting up a unit that is aimed at ensuring that there will be regular and periodic updates. Okay. Not only by our...
What are we going to be updated on?
No, on the forest and activities in the forest.
Okay.
Look, for
as
instance...
far as Galamsey is concerned.
As well as Galamsey is concerned. As I was here, for instance, I had an update from...
So frequently? How
frequently?
No, I don't want very frequently. Jesus said it's coming soon. So tell us, how frequently?
He's coming there. He's coming there. Allow him.
It could be weekly. It could be...
But also specificity.
Yes.
Okay. That's what, if the committee has been formed, they have a mandate.
Yes.
What have they been told to do and how frequently?
No, so it has not been fully formed. So the concern is that you are bringing things together. So you see, sometimes you expect that things are done in a certain rush, but it cannot just be done that.
But we are going to have that committee.
We will definitely.
And there will be.
When will it be?
It's not only a committee, but that is why I'm assuring you already, letting you that either weekly or every fortnight that will be done. So, for instance, as I'm here, I'm getting updates from NIMOS about what activities that are ongoing.
Okay, walk us through some.
I was sharing some with her even over there. There's a town, an enclave called Aboso in the Western region, where they are also engaged in numerous activities of Galamsey, and illicit drug trade has also become another major worry over there. Okay. NIMOS strikes heavily on Gangway, a notorious Galamsey hideout at Aboso in the Western region. It goes on and on with pictorial evidence, videos. I was sharing even some with her.
Okay, so this is an operation that was conducted today?
This is an operation that was conducted today. I'm even aware that tomorrow early dawn, there will be some at another place that will be happening spontaneously. If you see anything, whatever, it is only NIMOS that is close with the powers and even the resources to be able to fight these. And the number to reach out for NIMOS, if I may put it out onto
Please do.
This program, is 024 0700 487.
Meanwhile, tonight, the Ghana Gold Board Task Force says it has arrested 2 foreign nationals, an American and a Moroccan, along with 4 Ghanaians for engaging in illegal gold trading without a license. The suspects were picked up after weeks of surveillance in Accra. My colleague Michael Ashali joins us in the studio again with details of the operation, what the Gold Board is saying about the arrest. Michael, first tell us, where did this operation take place and who exactly are these suspects who have been arrested?
So we are told that the arrest happened at the Snake Emporium near the Marina Mall in Accra. The suspects include an American citizen, as you've mentioned, Smart Philander, a Moroccan national, Nina, and 4 Ghanaians, Nana Yao, Sapon Boatin, Soa, Elisha, Evans Ahen. And then also we know Arnold Otute was also part of those that will be arrested.
What really did the task force find during this operation?
Well, we are told in that statement that the task force caught the suspects attempting to buy and assay about 2.1 kilograms of gold valued at approximately 2.2 million cedis without a license. They also found gold refining equipment in the possession of the American suspect, confirming plans to refine gold illegally here in Ghana.
Do we know if any action has been taken so far and any warning from the Gold Board?
Well, we know that the suspects have been arraigned before court in Accra on multiple counts, including conspiracy to engage in gold trading without a license and attempting to refine gold illegally. The Gold Board says the arrest underscores its commitment essentially to enforce laws in the gold trade and warns that any form of gold trading, assaying or refining without a license from the Ghana Gold Board is illegal and punishable by law. We've been trying to reach out to them, to others that, well, at the moment, the statement is all they have for Ghanaians.
Thank you very much, Michael Ashali, for bringing us the update on that story.
And you're still live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. And pal, you need to brace yourself because I know you like taking public transport. The fares might go up very soon because the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, is putting government, but also yourself on notice, warning that transport fares will inevitably rise if fuel prices are increased in the next pricing window. The union's warning comes amid concerns that a hike in fuel prices could further burden commuters already grappling with high cost of living. Now, Public Relations Officer at the GPRTU, Abasi Moro, at the news conference in Accra earlier today, made the specific comments.
The GPRTU of TUC is by this release calling on the government to ensure stability in the prices of petroleum products. This call has become necessary because there has been a gradually progressive increment in fuel prices since operators reduced transport fares by 15% from 2nd May 2025 by 12.69 per litre and 11.34 per litre for diesel and petrol respectively. We also grappling with the refusal of spare parts dealers to reduce prices of their goods while prices of other components for other operations such as lubricants remains the same. We are therefore informing the general public that any further increase in the present fuel prices of 14.20 per litre and 13.38 per litre for diesel and petrol respectively shall compel us to increase transport fares to accommodate the lost revenue.
Let's get some further details on this. Abbas Imoro joins us on the line right now. Abbas, do you have an idea just yet how much increase we should be anticipating?
I will say no, because we have spoken and the government is also a listening government. Where we have gotten to, where we were coming from and where we are now, we are just pleading. They should do everything possible to maintain the price for now for us so that we can also hold on for some time. Else, I don't think we can move on the way we are moving.
Today was a press conference. I wonder if you have directly spoken or written to the sector minister.
We have spoken and the sector minister have heard, but directly we haven't written to him.
I mean, fuel cost isn't the only variable when you're calculating fares. What about the cost of spare parts? What's the situation there?
Well, we spoke about that. When in May we reduced the low fare as low as 15%, we spoke to those in charge of the spare parts and they promised we should give them some time. Up to today, they haven't done anything. You know, the dollar isn't where it is today. It has also changed, and we're thinking that will even affect the parts and lubricants as well. Nothing has changed. So we have tried, and we are still trying to make sure we all have to reset our country. If things change, then of course, because our people are seriously honest, and we're also telling them, let's see how best we can all move our nation forward by marking time to see if some of the spare parts, other components could also change for the best.
Abasimoro, thank you very much. And that there's the spokesperson for the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. I know many of you are in vehicles, public transport, heading home right now, listening to that and wondering what this will mean for you. They've sent out an appeal to government, asking for government to intervene, and hopefully the prices of petroleum products stay the same. And then your fares also stays the same. We'll keep a close eye on this. Still live on Newsnight, 05511 11997. I will be sharing your thoughts with the rest of the world pretty shortly. Still ahead here on Newsnight. key government businesses, including 2026 budget presentation and repeal of LI 2462, face potential delays over Speaker Babwing's suspension of Parliament resumption date indefinitely. We want to stay with us for that right after George is done with business. Hello, George.
Hi, Evans, and some interesting development because the price of gold has hit a record $4,000 an ounce for the first time in a long while. We'll explore impact on the economy and real challenges ahead for the country. Bank of Ghana commences foreign exchange auction under the gold, that is the domestic gold purchase program, selling up to $1.15 billion in a month. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business, and also Synthesis. Thanks.
I get them, I send them. I get them, I pay them.
Telesale cash.
I get them, I take them.
Telesale cash.
You get them, I send them.
Telesale cash.
I send them, you get them.
Telesale cash.
I get them. I buy them, I take them. I pay them, I send them.
Telesale cash. Telesale cash.
Experience the ultimate convenience of sending money on Telesale Cash. Sending money from Telesale Cash to Telesale Cash is free. You can also make payments to merchants on all networks. Enjoy best value and total security with Telesale Cash.
Telecel, connecting energies.
Ade, couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining in my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana mada with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No. You look so relaxed and cheerful these days. What's your secret?
No secret, Kofi. I just sorted out my retirement with Shield Pension Trust. You should talk to them.
Retirement? There's more time before pension.
Share. The earlier you start, the better. And Shield Pension Trust makes this so easy for you. They've got amazing plans to choose from. I even signed up for the Shield Cedi Crow a Day personal pension scheme, which lets you save as little as 1 Ghana Cedi a day towards your retirement. Isn't that great?
1 cedi a day.
Exactly. And the best part is, I sign up automatically on the Dachia Pomode plan, which guarantees me medical insurance when I go on retirement.
Hey, you've convinced me. I need to sign up now.
Kofi is making a move to secure his future and health insurance when he goes on retirement. What about you? Go to Shield Pension Trust or call us now on 050-915-0253 and we'll guide you through securing your pension tomorrow. Shield Pension Trust, into the future with you.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Ever wondered why the finest treasures of Africa feel like hidden secrets? The craftsmanship, the passion, the untold stories. Well, Ghana, the wait is over. Afro quality is here. Afro quality is your destination for the finest collection of African products. From beautifully crafted, ready-to-wear clothes, organic skincare products, bags, shoes, and fashion accessories, all made in Africa. Find us in East Legon on the American House Road, on top of Say Cheers. Visit at afroquality.com on Instagram or TikTok or 053-33-92345. Afro Quality, because you deserve the finest.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the price of gold has hit record levels on the international market. Now, various international trading platforms are quoting slightly above $4,000 an ounce earlier today. Now, the development may come with some excitement for the economy, but there are also some real challenges ahead, like the impact of this on Galamsey. There is more in this report.
For some individuals, the immediate impact will be on the country's export earnings from the commodity. Data from the Bank of Ghana show that as of the end of August this year, Ghana realized more than $11 billion from gold exports. This was far higher than the $6.6 billion in August 2024, and these are only the official figures. The development has also gone a long way to help improve Ghana's international reserves, which have now reached more than $10 billion. This puts the Bank of Ghana in a strong position to support the city's stability. It is believed that together with Ghana's gold purchase program, strong export earnings and the dollar reserve accumulation program have played a major role in the city's sharp appreciation earlier this year. Some market watchers have even argued that soaring gold prices earlier this year also contributed to the recent economic stability the country is enjoying. But the interesting bit about these rising gold prices is their impact on illegal small-scale mining, popularly known as Galamsey. Some industry players have argued that one of the major drivers of Galamsey is the rising price of gold. This could push more people into the environmental menace we are trying hard to stop. Well, global investment giant Goldman Sachs has even projected that it could hit $5,000 before the end of this year.
And that is a Business Desk report. But the gold mining firms, on the other hand, has argued that they may not benefit immediately from this development because of their rising cost of operations. They might not immediately benefit from the rising prices of gold on the international market. Now, the Bank of Ghana has announced that it will this month commence a foreign exchange sale of forex actually under the domestic gold purchase program. The Bank of Ghana is planning to sell up to $1.15 billion twice every week to the commercial banks. The central bank maintains that it stands ready in terms of varying the amount depending on the development on the market. Some analysts have argued that the move could go a long way to help strengthen the Ghana city. Meanwhile, the Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama maintains that sustaining the current economic stability and other monetary gains should be seen as a shared responsibility. The governor disclosed this during a meeting with the chief executives of the commercial banks in Accra. The governor maintained that despite the progress reached, the risk still ahead.
We are mindful, however, of potential risks going forward. And you're talking about risks including global oil price volatility. There are risks to do with possible tariff adjustments. And then there are other risks that we have to consider, such as any uptick in the rate of in the movements of the city. But we stand ready to act decisively whatever happens to safeguard stability. Colleagues, the return to single-digit inflation is here, and it marks a new chapter in our economic recovery. But it is not the end of the story at all. Our collective responsibility now is to sustain this discipline. We have to strengthen the financial system further, and we have to ensure that stability translates into jobs, translates into affordable credit, and translates into real growth for households and businesses. For us at the Bank of Ghana, we'll continue to work closely with all of you to achieve these goals.
And that is the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama. Now, still on the Bank of Ghana, has announced that it will launch its City at 60 national program celebrations on the 28th of this month at the Accra International Conference Center. Now, this was after it postponed the program earlier this year due due to the helicopter crash disaster. The program is expected to herald activity to celebrate the city after 60 years of its introduction. Now, senior partner at law firm AB and David Osudote has underscored the need for the Ghana Fiscal Service to produce sector-specific data to support indigenous business growth. Speaking at the Africa Business Conversation, a thought leadership series organized by the firm, Mr. Osudote explained that tailor-made data is key to growing local businesses.
I think we must give credit to the GSS. There's a lot more they publish, which is not highlighted, which businesses ought to pay attention to. So there were three things in this segment. One is the data that they publish just for World Bank and IMF. The other one is that are there data that they have that businesses should be paying attention to? And the third one was whether there are areas we can collaborate. So if you look at the second and the third segment of this, that was really the focus. And it turns out that they have quite a lot of data that either businesses are not aware of, that they can use in their corporate strategy, or in their presentation, they don't highlight it enough. And they can actually make money out of it as well, and improve their sources of funding.
David Osudote is a senior partner at law firm AB and David. To the stock market, EcoBank is still doing some wonders on the Ghana Stock Exchange. If you look at the share price, it has gone up significantly today by some 80 pesos and is now worth 14 Ghana cedis. Another banking stock, that is CalBank, was also up by a peso to close at 73 pesos. Now, still, the market is the preferred place for investors looking at the returns that it is making for those who have invested on the Ghana Stock Exchange, way above 70% in terms of return. And that's all for business on News Night. And it's for sports.
Thank you very much, George Uyatfi, for bringing us the latest in the world of business. Achu Temaklo is here. What do we have in sports tonight?
Hi, Pearl. Government is set to roll out a development plan for nurturing football talents in Ghana's educational system. President John Dramani Mahama disclosed this when he made a 500,000 Ghana cedi donation to the University for Development Studies school team.
My government, through the Ministry of Sports and Recreation and the Ministry of Education, is working to strengthen youth and university sports systems to ensure that talented students or athletes like you are identified, developed, and supported to reach professional levels. We're setting up the School Sports Authority, which will concentrate on sports from the basic level to the secondary level to the university level. And so it's going to have a separate budget, and it will hold constant competitions amongst universities and secondary schools.
That was President John Mahama, who was speaking to the University for Development Studies, who met him after winning the World University Football Championships.
Thank you very much, Achi, for bringing us the sports news. Now to other stories. And key government businesses, especially the presentation of the 2026 budget, may face potential delay due to the postponement of Parliament's resumption date. Speaker Alban Badbin, in a statement on September 29, announced that the House will resume from recess on October 14 after 2.5 months of break. But just yesterday, the Speaker, in another statement, said he had suspended the resumption until further notice due to circumstances beyond his control. The following report has more on how this delay could affect some key government decisions.
Apart from the regular parliamentary business of debate and adoption of committee reports, bills, and others, the consideration of key government businesses, especially budget presentation, is important to the smooth running of every government. That is why even before Dr. Kasiel Atuforsen could present his first budget as finance minister, he was hopeful that his next one, the 2026 budget, will be presented in October 2025, earlier than the usual November presentation. This was his reason.
Again, we'll come back and hold. And this year, you want to read the budget in October, I believe. So we'll get to
at October ending.
October ending, okay. And if that happens, okay, if that happens, it'll be the earliest.
Yes.
The budget for the next year have been read.
I believe we should give the MPs enough time for them to peruse the document and appreciate it and debate it well. And so I'm looking at October ending so they can have 2 good months to be.
On the other hand, One major issue that has transcended the fight against galamsey has been the civil society organization's call for outright termination of LI 2462, which allows for forest reserves to be mined. Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine, in the president's encounter with CSOs on the fight against galamsey, did not only announce a repeal of the bill, but was specific on the exact date a bill will be laid in Parliament to revoke the LI.
We have prepared an instrument that is LI 2505 in my office, and that will be laid in Parliament on the 14th. The Minister and I have agreed that on the 14th of October, when Parliament resumes, we'll lay that instrument to revoke the famous LI 2462, which is the infamous LI 2462, so that there will be no basis whatsoever for anybody to tamper with, with our forest. So immediately it is laid, within 21 days, it matures, and from that time onwards, we will not have LI 2462.
It is, however, obvious that these two key matters may suffer setbacks following the Speaker's indefinite postponement of an earlier 14th October resumption date. The Speaker, in this statement, says the postponement has become necessary due to circumstances beyond his control. As to what the circumstances are, it is still unclear. But for now, both the AG and the Finance Minister may have to wait a bit longer to bring these businesses before the legislature.
And you're still live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM, and a few of your messages coming through on our WhatsApp console, pal.
Well, Evans, this one says that at what stage did Akunta mine damage acres of that forest? We remember ex-President Akufo-Addo saying publicly that the Akunta mine had left the forest. Wontemi sat on his TV station showing off his gold nuggets at the time that ordinary Ghanaians were at their lowest ebb, and that's from Nana in Spintex.
Now, the National Service Authority is set to put 10,000 National Service personnel through rigorous military training, aiming to reshape the mindset of young graduates and instill values of responsibility and national duty. Now, the 6-week training program, conducted in collaboration with the Ghana Armed Forces, will see participants stationed at various military bases nationwide, where they will undergo real military conditions and training in basic weapon handling and combat drills. Now, have a listen to the Acting Executive Director of the NSA, Ruth Della Sedo.
We are going to subject them to proper military training. Of course, it's the basics of it. So if, for example, a typical military man runs how many kilometers? Let's say 20 kilometers. Of course, maybe they will do about 5 or so. It's not going to be the same, but of course they have to go through every process that it is to know that yes, they've been through military training properly, so called, and including handling of weapons. Yes, because we are saying that disaster management, right, and all of that. So typically, if you find yourself in an area where there are armed robbers and all those things, what do? You need to subject them to a training process where, in the absence of police and all those people, they should be able to find a way to still, take the weapons from them and all those things. So yes, a little bit of combating and here and there, drills and all of that, we are all subject them to that. But that is because at the end of the day, the end goal is discipline. We want to instill in them the sense of discipline. You cannot go and do something shoddy and expect that they're going to get the results that we are looking for.
And Evans, listening to her, I wish I were a national service person at this time. But let's go on. In an attempt to curb the growing menace of payroll fraud that has siphoned millions of cedis from the authority, Della Sedo revealed that it has plans to subject itself to annual payroll audits.
With this system, it is built in a way that when you key in these inconsistent records, it will block you. So you will not have the access to even continue and get it done. So I think that to a large extent, that is very important. And it's a whole chain. It's a whole chain. And for every click, everything that you do, we have records of everything that you do in the system. And I have said to them that for maybe every 6 months, every 1 year, we will do periodic auditing of the system.
With controller?
Yes, with controller, with GIPS, with NIA, with audit service. If it goes beyond audit service, we can even procure the services of private, audit firms every year. I think that is something we have to subject our systems to, because we are all fallible, we are humans, and systems can always be manipulated. Even though, to a large extent, we have subjected it to a lot of tests that proves that it's very robust and it's not is impenetrable. But for the sake of accountability and ensuring that we safeguard the monies, the taxpayers, money, I have proposed that we subject the system to thorough annual auditing, so that we are all on the same page, knowing that in case something erupts, we can block it quickly before it degenerates.
Well, this press conference is on the back of an audit that was conducted. The National Service Scheme itself was put on hold for a long time, so they can conclude this audit. We believe this is now done. Collins Frimpong was at the press conference and is in the studio with me. Collins, do we know what they found?
So, according to the new NSA boss, Rudela Sedo, they found about 2,000 children who are also under the age of 6, bearing names found on the Ghana card on their payroll, and they've been able to clear that. So, these are the major. This is the major thing that they found in there.
For national service persons, the prospective national service persons, everybody is waiting for the opening of the portal so they can register and get posted. Is that open now?
Yes. So they've been able to develop a new portal, and according to the NSA, the portal is supposed to be opened tomorrow, and also the registration process will begin, and this will allow the service personnel to be deployed on November 1, and that period you are supposed to move to their various places that they've been deployed to, and on Monday, November 3, you are supposed to begin their work.
How much did it cost to build this portal?
So this portal was done internally with partners from the NI, that's the National Identification Authority, as well as the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement Systems Limited, known as GIPS. According to the NSA, it cost them 0 Ghana cedis to build that. So they didn't pay anything as President Mahama directed.
Collins, thank you very much.
Now, Presbyterian Boys Secondary School, Presec Legon, has powered its way to the top, winning the 6th edition of the Energy Commission's Senior High School Renewable Energy Challenge. My colleague Jacqueline Ansamayaboa has more in this report.
My team and I, Presec Legon, the STEM team, we came up with this innovative solution, what we call the hotspot, a robust system that is fitted with a comprehensive set of sensors.
The boys from Legon Presec dazzled the judges with an innovative AI-powered system designed to deliver primary healthcare services, a brilliant fusion of technology and purpose. The smart machine scans patient, detects ailment, and even conducts live interactive sessions to collect details and make early diagnosis. According to the excited Presec team, their project is just the beginning of something bigger.
I feel like all in all, we still pushed through, and it's been a very exciting journey all in all. We are really glad that we've made it this far.
The next step is for the project to go international. I mean, we want it to compete with the likes of MIT and those days.
Presec is Presec, and Presec is the best. In that light, we shall see light.
A Hantaman Girls Senior High School, who placed second after finishing 5th last year, say the improvement alone feels like a win.
Thank God for everything. Everything happens for a reason. We are very grateful. We've done our best. Last year we were 5th, but this year we came second. We've done very well.
Senior Manager for Renewable Energy Regulation and Project Coordinator for the Challenge, Julius Nkansa Nyako, praised this year's entries. He assured that the Commission's support won't end here. The goal is to see the innovations brought to life beyond the competition stage.
To get 120 schools to participate in such an activity, then it's very, 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 very good. What really stands out for me has been the project that we had that solved some of the health delivery challenges that we had in the country. And you could tell from the winning project, the Commission is looking beyond just a winning project. We are going to collaborate with our partners to look at all the 6 projects that came to the finals and see how best we can work together.
So, As the light dim on this year's Renewable Energy Challenge, it's clear Presec Legon has sparked a new wave of innovation that could redefine how technology powers healthcare in Ghana. For Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Ansama Iboa.
And congratulations to Presec. Which school did you attend?
West Africa Senior High School was.
Oh, Adenta. Oh, Adenta Barrier.
Adenta Barrier.
Oh, so you went to school at Adenta Barrier. Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay, that's fine.
So we used to go to Presec a lot.
Ah, were you there when the accident happened and they had to shut it and so they can create that footbridge?
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, this is recent. I thought you were Latter Day Saints, one of those Latter Day Saints. Anyway, it's a live your news night on Joy 99.7 FM.
The male teachers, we are pleading with you. If you want to do the thing, we have nice women and nice ladies who are single on our staff and in the community that we are working.
Well, the Ghana National Association of Teachers president has sparked controversy with that proposal you just heard in that short sound clip. According to the president, teachers should consider courting single female teachers instead of sexually abusing female students under their care. However, the education minister has quickly dismissed the suggestion, urging teachers to maintain professionalism and respect for their students. Have a listen.
The president of NAT sought to respond to the unethical conduct going on between teachers and learners. A teacher wanting to take advantage of a learner. It is so unacceptable. And we will sanction heavily any teacher found in any compromising or guarantee the safety and security of the learning environment. Then this one, for the laughter of it, but for the significance of it. So in the words of the NAT president, Reverend Isaac, he said if you want to do the thing, do it with female teachers. I'm reminding him that even that will constitute sexual harassment within the true meaning of our standards. In your working environment, that's also not acceptable. So if you want, do it far away and with persons of age. But certainly to see that take advantage of your own environment of teachers, even if the teachers were unmarried, within that environment, it is unethical, unacceptable, unprofessional, and compromises on our standards on the provision of quality, sustainable education.
The male teachers, we are pleading with you. If you want to do the thing, we have nice women and nice ladies who are single on our staff and in the community that we are working.
Evans, do you agree?
Well, it depends.
It depends on what?
In some environments, the HR policies doesn't frown on workplace romance. In other places, it does.
Exactly.
If it's consensual, it's allowed. If it's frowned upon and compliance says you can't do it, you can't do it. But if you know what the HR code says and it says you can do it, provided there's consent, then of course. So there's no one straight rule at all on the matter.
No comment. Now, Evans, I don't have to ask you this question. I'm sure you'll be at the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair.
Of course. I'm actually looking for a home.
Okay, so one company in Ghana that specializes in the manufacturing of high-quality plastic products will be at the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair to help you choose from a wide range of plastic items, including pipes and fittings. That company is Interplast Ghana, the best choice for your water tanks, floor and wall panels, deep irrigation systems and storage containers. More importantly, every product from Interplast is eco-friendly, water and effective way to save money from the October 23 to 26 at the International Conference Center. Here is more of what to expect from Interplast Ghana.
At Interplast, we are into the manufacturing and distribution of plastic pipes and fittings, and also our everlast windows and doors. Yes, so we have PPR pipes, we have borehole pipes, we have corrugated pipes, we have the HDPE pipes, and then the PVC pipes as well. And then the fittings to couple these particular pipes. We also have UPVC doors and the windows for your buildings, your projects, and then any other use you want to use them for. Our products are of high quality. So once you are paying a price for the product, you know you are getting the quality you want. So what we have a saying here: I'm not rich enough to buy cheap. Right. Yes. So that means the price of our product goes with the quality of the product. Yes. And then once you are ready to buy, we can consider some discounts when you are ready.
And of course, Evans, it's just 16 days away to the EcoBan Journeys Habitat Fair.
And that's it for News Night tonight. My name is Evans Mensa.
My name is Pelufori.